What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, and welcome to this episode of the 40k 8th edition updates that are coming out of Games Workshop. Plus, Bell of Lost Souls. I've also done a kind of an overview thus far, so we'll run through that as well. But first of all, we're going to start with a little bit of fluff, what they put out. The Great Rift, they've called it, so I'll just read it as it's written here. It says, those of you familiar with the Warhammer 40,000 universe who have seen the new galaxy map will certainly have spotted at least one major change. The Great Rift is a tear in reality that essentially divides the Imperium in half. Its emergence was a literal galaxy-shattering event which threw the Imperium into chaos and ushered in new wars across nearly every world in the Imperium. So powerful and far was this storm that the very laws of physics fray at the edges as the inconsistencies of time fluctuations, once largely localized to larger storms such as the Eye of Terror, spread across the galaxy. Some inconsistencies there with tenses in their writing, but that's okay, we'll forgive them. I guess they're doing these in a hurry. Some worlds felt centuries go by in an instant, while others were all but frozen in time. And still others have suffered constant temporal shifts. It's got a little bit of the map and shows you where it is, and I'm sure this will all be in the new rule book and things when it comes out. I'll just finish off my coffee while I'm doing this. Okay, reading on, it says, none fully understand the origins of the rift, though there are many theories. The breach of the Cadian Gate, the sorcery of a demon Primarch, catastrophe in the Webway, mass bloodshed, and fire in the Damocles Gulf. All may have caused or contributed to it. The rift is variously known by the cultures of the galaxy as the Crimson Path, the Mouth of Ruin, the Warp Scar, the Daphaidian, don't know about that one, Gork's Grin, and 1,000 other names besides. To the Imperium, it is the Cicatrix Maledictum. They love their long-winded names, don't they? Or just the Great Rift. To those on the terrain side, it is a tainted scar across the sky. To those on the terrain side, I've got terrain on the brain right now. To those on the Terran side, it is a tainted scar across the sky. To those unfortunates on the far side, it is far west. While we saw the beginnings of this great tear in the events of the Gathering Storm, in the story of the new Warhammer 40,000, Robote Guilliman, Lord Commander of the Imperium's armies, looks out over the ruins of his father's empire and sets about its reconquest in a crusade to liberate those worlds embattled by the forces of chaos, and free those beset by Xenos predators, closing in on the weakened worlds of mankind. Well, that's a bit of fluff that came out during the week. So that's the Great Rift, as they call it. The next, which sounds interesting to me, is about battle-forged armies. So let's go into that. Battle-forged armies. Battle-forged armies will be familiar to Warhammer 40,000 players today. It basically means that all the models in your army are part of a detachment or formation. Yep. This is still largely true in the new Warhammer 40,000, but with a few changes, so let's get to it then, eh? The biggest of which is, wait for it, puff of smoke, formations are gone. That's right, no more formations. But don't panic, no more formations. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. No. Don't panic, it says, so let's continue. If your army is built using formations right now, you're going to be fine. In their place are a dozen new game-wide detachments that are available to all factions. Well, before I go any further, I mean, I don't know how I feel about the detachments thing. I mean, I don't really play a lot of, or pay a lot of mind to it, personally, to be truthful, but I kind of like the idea of it, if that makes sense. Right, okay, so if your army is built using formations right now, you're going to be fine. In their place are a dozen new game-wide detachments that are available to all factions. These are flexible enough that all of your current forces can be fit in into them to form a battle-forged army. The advantage of these is that all factions now have an even playing field of list building mechanics, rather than some having loads and some having to stick to with the trusty combined arms option for every game. These detachments are made up of a combination of 9 unit types, which will look very familiar to anyone who has played Warhammer 40,000 in the past 2 decades. Some you'll recognise from Space Marine Company markings and the classic combined arms detachment of today, plus Lords of War, fortifications, and the new one, flyers, now with their own slot. Okay. These detachments come with a few benefits and restrictions. The most common restriction is that all units in a single detachment must share a faction keyword. The examples they give here are Tyrannid, Blood Angels, or Imperium, for example. The most common bonus is that depending on how optimized your army is for the logistics of war, you'll get command points to spend. We'll cover exactly what these can do for you soon, but trust us when we say they are incredibly useful if used wisely, and you generally get more of them if your army is a well-rounded and balanced force. Here are a few examples. These are just a taste of the options available. I say that, just a taste, so that means there'll be a lot more. Battle-forged armies can be used with or without points, and we fully expect gamers playing matched or narrative play games to use these in most situations, as they tend to create effective armies on the tabletop that also fit into the background and lore of the setting. Match play actually has a few extra rules too, designed for competitive events, which organisers can choose to use when setting the rules for battle-forged armies. Limits on the number of separate detachments is one example, and we'll be back again tomorrow with more news on a new Warhammer 40,000. Dun, 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 dun. So that's battle-forged army. So I'm just getting this update out there with those two on the. So that sounds like it's been play tested. Well, say play tested. It sounds like it's been fought about for a while now. So yeah. So let's see what Bell of Lost Souls has to say. So this is from the Bell of Lost Souls site now. 8th edition a month away. We've been given a handful of rules. Let's widely speculate. I mean, look at what we know so far. We've been given the general outlines of each of the phases, from movement, shooting, psychic, charging and fighting, along with some unit and weapon profiles. We are still waiting on the impact of morale, impact of terrain, actually, I don't know when this came out exactly, and how much blasts, deep strike missions, units and points cost, stratagems, army composition. Okay, fine. We're waiting for a lot. But what was ever the harm in looking at what we know now? We've been following the slow drip of rules over at 3++ is the new black. And I think that we have enough to start looking at the bigger picture. Things we know. So let's do a quick bullet summary. Alright. No more initiative stats and movement characteristics are back in the unit profile. To hit in shooting and combat is a flat rate, though there appear to be modifiers, such as moving with heavy weapons, smoke launchers, etc. You cannot shoot units within 1 inch of you except with pistols. That's good because, you know, I just think that's good. AP is now a modifier to armor saves, as is cover. Sorry about that. Stronger weapons can do multiple wounds, i.e. las cannon does d6. Running is a part of the movement phase. Physical templates and blasts are gone. Templates hit d6 models. Psychic powers manifest based against a 2d6 roll of difficulty, i.e. smite requires a 5+. Mortal wounds bypass all saves and invulnerable saves. Vehicles have wounds and save characteristics, and wounds will generally be higher across the board. Well, I should hope so. Charging means you strike first in the charge phase, which is good. Charging is 2d6 if within 12 inches, and you can engage if 1 inch away. 1 inch stay away from non-engaged models still exist during this phase. You can overwatch multiple times unless engaged. During the fight phase, activated units move 3 inches and can engage new enemy units. You can voluntarily leave combat but forfeit your movement and shooting next turn. Haha! For non-charging units, Players take turns activating units in combat. Morale is a phase at the end of a turn, where for each unit that lost models you get to roll. You roll a d6 and add the number of models lost. Compare the number to the leadership characteristic, and the unit takes the difference and removes that many models. Yeah, now I had a little bit of a to and froing with someone the other day about they were saying how it sucks that you can withdraw from combat and you'll just die being shot to death next time round. And I said, well, let's just wait and see, because I think we'll still be alright for us. So, and yeah, so they forfeit their shooting next round, so they can't shoot you to death if they leave the combat. They can leave, yeah. But people were worried about that. I think we're worrying unnecessary. Anyway, but that's just their general overview. So all is good. All is good. It's looking good. So hopefully by the time you see this, there'll be more updates out, and we can look forward to some more juicy tidbits in the near future. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to all. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Bye bye, folks.